How we doing, team? And welcome back to a brand new episode of the Simply Podcast, the general podcast in which we talk about just about everything. You know, this is the fourth episode now. 4 episodes in on this podcast. I think this is the seventh episode in total so far that we've done, which is unreal. It's like it seems like so many, but realistically, I've only actually been recording these this month, like in March. I've released. This is going to be the seventh episode I will have released, so that is kind of mad. And you know what? Thank you so much if you're watching this in the if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple Music, anything. Thank you so much for doing so. It means an awful lot. And if you are watching this on YouTube, please do feel free to like and subscribe. It does help out an awful lot. Yeah, without further ado, we're gonna crack straight into this. I mean, the beauty of our podcast is it's kind of like it's very much it's very much anything. This is me. I don't edit this massively, so you hear how I am IRL. If any of you really want to know what I'm like IRL, just don't creep up on me in the street. That's a bit weird. Yeah. So what's been happening this week? Well, shall we talk about more or less last night? Obviously, Will Smith decided to smack the hell out of Chris Rock like Jesus. Did not see that coming. Did not see that coming. He just literally walks up to Chris Rock and literally like full palm hits him in the face. Like jeez, oh man. You could tell he was like knocked back by it, quite a bit. Did not know what to do. They did not know what to do. I mean, you know what? It would have been even more awkward, right? It would have been even more awkward if Will Smith wasn't that close to the stage. Like, if he wasn't that close, can you imagine if he had this really, really long walk, like, back and forth? Like, geez, oh man, that would have been mental. But for anyone that didn't actually understand, why did Will Smith hit Chris Rock? Well, Chris Rock made a joke about his wife's condition. I think I always mess up the pronunciation of this. I believe it's called, like, alopecia or something like that. Basically, it's disease in which is disease that is it's either genetic or it's caused on by stress to force people to kind of lose their hair more or less. I did know I think I've known about 3 people now that have had this. It's not nice. Luckily, I think nearly all 3, I think the hair has grown back now, which is great to hear. But yeah, basically she's bald, and Chris Rock made a joke on that, which did not go down well. You could even hear it in the crowd. You could hear the boos and some people laughing, or like maybe not quite wanting to laugh, and you can even tell by her reaction that it's kind of like that's edgy, and that's pushing it a bit far. Like that's. She wasn't thrilled by it either. And obviously Will Smith just walks up on stage and absolutely smacks him one. Now this has caused a bit of controversy because a lot of people are divided on whether or not he should or should not have done that. Basically whether or not they condone violence and stuff like that. I think there's also a lot of people just saying things about it just to be relevant. I'm kind of just here just saying this happened. I haven't really got an opinion on it, if I'm being honest. Like obviously I don't think the joke was in good taste at all, but Will Smith going up with him, it's kind of like it's I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I mean, I feel like maybe something like that could have been solved closed doors, but at the same time, it's like no one else is going to make a joke about it. His wife now, are they? So it's kind of, or even he also raises awareness for what she's got. So there were benefits for him going up doing that, but was it done in the right way? I don't know. I mean, what do you think? If you're on YouTube or whatnot, let me know in the comments what you think about it as well. You know, it's been difficult. You know, yeah, it's been difficult. I've seen a lot of different opinions on this on Twitter, um, on YouTube as well. From the ones I've seen in different news articles, kind of giving different takes on it. It's, you know what? At the end of the day, he's not pressed charges. At the end of the day, there's not really anything that I can see that's kind of come out of this against Will Smith. So it's is what it is. At the end of the day. It's happened. It's moved on. So yeah, it is what it is. But listen, that's happened there. I mean, obviously Will Smith's wife. I forget her name every single time. I was gonna. You know what? I should have written this down. You know what I've written down in my notes? I've written down Will Smith. I didn't write his wife's name, who's the one that this was all about. So, well done me, Well done me. Oh well, yeah. Obviously, it's the health condition his wife has got, and it's yeah, Jada. Yeah, thank you, X in the stream there. Just so you know, guys, I do stream this podcast live on Twitch at twitch.tv/Simply Spud. Feel free to obviously pop over. I don't acknowledge the chat constantly, but I do see I do read the messages as they try and throw me off while I'm recording, so I have to edit bits out. It's kind of almost a game that they absolutely love. But yeah, obviously I was just about to talk about, kind of obviously Jada's health. Obviously, yeah, it's just it's not great condition. Like I said, I knew a few people with it as well. And obviously, luckily for those 3 people, they've all grown their hair back. Now, I think it can also be caused by dyeing your hair a lot as well. So it is what I did. Sorry, my chat is distracting me a little bit. But tell me to TikTok dance on the podcast. Like, I do not dance on command. Listen, give me a few pints and definitely I'll start dancing. Definitely. I mean, listen, it's a school night, so there's no pints. There's only Iron Brew for me tonight. But yeah, it was, I figured like on this podcast, because the last podcast did so well with me talking about myself and various different things that were happening there, I figured this one I'll maybe share more about me, talk about myself a little bit more, because people seem to like it when I talk about myself and stories and whatnot I do. And I've got a few things kind of lined up a little bit, but I am kind of free falling this. I don't know. I was free falling. Is that really the right phrase? Probably not. I'm just winging it as we go along this time. I'm kind of not really going to come up with an actual structure for this podcast. I've just kind of decided we'll switch the camera on. We'll see how things go, and we'll see how things go about. Talk about the Simply Spud life. Yes, Reese, I will. As he says in the Twitch chat. Like I said, team, if you're not already, twitch.tv/Simply Spud, go give us a follow. It's free. It helps me out as well. But yeah, so obviously, kind of things about me that maybe I haven't talked about massively on stream. So for those that don't know, obviously, so the people that know me quite well actually do. I do say, I'm allergic to chocolate. I'm allergic to a couple things. I'm allergic to a sweetener that is in loads of different like kind of diet fizzy drinks and stuff like that, called aspartame. I used to be allergic to wheat as well. Oh, no, that one was awful. I used to be, when I was allergic to wheat, I had to have this really, the bread I had, I don't even know what it was made from. Like, now I'm thinking about it, I don't even know what it was made from, but it was always stale. It was always about yay big. For those that can't tell, that's probably about the size of, so from my chin to my nose is roughly what the size it was. And it was always stale. It was always hard. Even when you put it in the toaster, it just ended up a different color. It didn't taste any different. I used to have my sandwiches like that, and it was just awful bread. I mean, like, you look now, and like the free-from range and stuff like that, obviously people with gluten and, lactose intolerance and all that, it's blowing up this range of giving you so many different options. But back then, when I had there was barely any options at all. And it was something that I was having issues with since I was probably about eight years old. I was having health issues. I was in and out of sick kids a lot, which was amazing when you're young. When you're young, you're loving it because I'm outside of school, and like I remember going to sick kids, and there was a GameCube there, and you'd absolutely love playing the GameCube because it was like, oh, I don't have one of these at home. I want to play it more, you know. So I was loving it. The fact that I was like, outside of school and it was gaming and stuff like that. But yeah, I wasn't particularly well as a child. I wasn't like bad. I just wasn't great. Put it that way. A lot of people have it a lot worse than what I did. Back then. I might even made a meal of it now. Thinking about it, maybe. A lot of things I probably could have done to help myself, but I didn't really want to listen. As we could have tell from my time at JD. If you haven't heard that story, make sure you check out the previous podcast. But yeah, so yeah, obviously I wasn't particularly well as a younger, and as I got older, I kind of grew out a lot of things. I grew out the wheat allergy. I grew out of being kind of allergic to apples and oranges. Really, grew out of a lot, to be honest. I mean, the ones that have kind of stuck are kind of the aspartame. Chocolate, unfortunately, is one that's still stuck. That one could have gone, because of that, I prefer starters over desserts because nearly every dessert's got bloody chocolate in it. And it's a bit irritating, but you get used to it. I mean, Easter's a bit of an annoying time because you're always yeah, everyone's got Easter eggs. What can I say? Everyone's got Easter eggs. So yeah, Easter kind of sucks a little bit, but as I'm now 27, it's it kind of gets the point now where you just got to deal with it. It just is what it is. You're not gonna have it anymore, and I get like quite bad pains in my stomach whenever I eat any of these things and whatnot. So much so that it's kind of like got to the stage now where no matter what, right? Even if I've not had any of these things for a while, I usually still have like a bit of pain, a bit of pain kind of in the stomach like all the time, and it used to make me quite sluggish and whatnot. Like if I was a 8 out of 10, I would I'd say nearly all the time I'm kind of maybe about a 2-3 out of 10 on the pain scale, which is not great. Listen, it's a bit irritating. I used to just slug around all the time because I used to always be depleted of energy all the time. But it's kind of like, I could just complain about it all the time. I could use it as an excuse not to do things. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like, you can only play the victim so long. You can only be choose to be unhappy for so long. Eventually, you just got to change it and just listen, this is what life is now. You got to deal with it and move on. It is what it is. And the energy side of it, that's definitely one thing that's changed. I'm always in a little bit of pain, but you listen. Paracetamol's something you can buy at the shop. Ibuprofen's something you can buy at the shop. It's not exactly like it's the end of the world now, is it? But yeah, that's obviously kind of my own health wise. Basically, I just get quite ill whenever I eat any of these things, and it's very inconvenient to say the least. But like I said, kind of grown up a bit more now. I manage these things quite well, so I don't tend to need to worry about eating them. But yeah, listen, that's a little bit about me there. Obviously, some of one of the things I did really well in the last podcast that I kind of wanted to maybe bring up a bit more now is obviously some of the stories we were telling. Obviously, last one we talked about time in my when I was working for the council. I mean, there were loads of stories for that one. Some of them are a bit disturbing, and I don't even know if I should even mention some of them on the podcast because I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Some of them are a bit edgy, and I don't know. Depending on what the audience that I have. Are they appropriate is the other side. Maybe I'll make a podcast just for maybe a Patreon, so the older people can hear some of these stories, because some of them are ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous. It's so obviously I was at JD for 6 weeks. I got sacked. And you know what? In all honesty, I should have saw it coming, right? Well, when I think back now, I should have saw it coming because, I say I should have saw it coming, right? The gaffer told me, so it didn't really click when I was there, right? I was there, like I said, for 6 weeks, and probably in the last week, right? Probably in the last week, right? Um, I was kind of working in the footwear department, um, and I was speaking to the gaffer there, right? And we were palling and stuff like that there, and then he all of a sudden just brings up like, and this is word for word, right? That he was looking for my imminent replacement, and the fact that that didn't ring any alarm bells, I was like, huh, right. How did that not bring any alarm bells? That someone that is the gaffer has told you that he is looking for your imminent replacement, and you don't take that as a clue for the fact that you're getting the boot in a week's time. Yeah, I think I was just a bit naive, bit naive. Obviously, my first job with the council was so relaxed that no one would ever. I mean, you couldn't get away with that now. I don't think. No, you couldn't get away with that now. You couldn't just tell someone that you're looking to replace them because they're not bad at their job. You would have to have a significant amount of finesse now in order to do anything like that. Or there's like different protocols you'd have to follow for that. But yeah, geez, oh man, that was that happened once before. I mean, in fairness, I don't actually have anything against. Like, despite the fact the gaffer there sacked me, I actually have nothing against him because you know what, he was right after so long. He was actually right. I was awful at that job, so there's no excuses on my part. But at the end of the day, I was awful at the job, so hey oh. But yeah, obviously, I went from a JD to the next job I had was actually at Toys R Us. Toys R Us was a job, I tell you that much. Toys R Us was definitely a job. You know, I worked on the kind of bikes and ride on section, which was it was you know what? It was actually all right. It was all right. You know, out of all the jobs that I've done, like listen, so like that job had potential to be really good, but the problem was, Toys R Us was never absolutely heaving. Right, at no point was it like uncontrolled compared to the job I did. It was never even close to the kind of how busy it was. So like a lot of days used to drag quite significantly. So yeah, oh yeah, what was it? I worked at the ride on section, which was the bikes and stuff like that. I used to help people like pick the right bike, And in all honesty, I had no training for this, right? I'm there in Toys R Us in these bike section, and basically I've got parents coming up to me. Is this bike all right for my child? Is it the right height? And I just kind of go, yeah. And then they buy the bike, and then listen, if the child falls off, it's not my fault. I got no training. Oh, that was the excuse I used to give. It's it sounds so bad now. I'm saying it back now. Like I like nowadays you would not be like just set loose with no training or whatnot. It'd be like you get like a 90 slide PowerPoint on like how to assess bikes for kids, and like is this the right one, light height, all that. I was just like yeah, or maybe I'd suggest another bike just because I was like maybe that one will suit better, when realistically it was either more expensive one, or it was just to make me sound a little bit smarter. That was probably the extent of what my service was there, because I couldn't build the bikes. I never got that training. I was literally just there to, basically, yeah, just tell them, yeah, that bike, or no, this bike, with no actual knowledge of it actually helping them at all. But listen, it's fine. It's years past now. Sure, none of this is going to come back to bite me now. Watch it, lawsuit for the door. I would just like, I recognize this guy in this podcast. He sold me a bike that was wrong. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised in this day and age. Everyone looking out to get somebody. But yeah, it was that was my job when I was at Toys R Us. But and you know what? It was like every 5 minutes as well. You would hear the Toys R Us, Toys R Us, Toys R Us. Yeah. Copyright claim. There we go on the podcast straight away. Yeah, you'd hear that every 5 minutes as well. And you know what? It wasn't even that bad. It wasn't even that bad, to be fair. you kind of got used to hearing it. And then one of the handy things as well in that store as well is, listen, if I was needed the other side of the store, I could just hop on one of the scooters and scoot over to the other side of the store. The downside of that is obviously I'd have to bring the scooter back and whatnot, but it was like sorry, I've just read the comment there what Reese has just said, and he just said so this so and so sold me a dodgy bike that nearly killed my weighing. Listen, mate, it wasn't my fault. I got no training, and that's what I'll be saying. And like, you listen, I had a few nights in there. Well, I had a few hanging sessions the day before, and I'd be like going into the warehouse and just like hiding and like sleeping off a hangover or something like that, you know. But listen, ToysRUs wasn't that bad a place to work at. It was kind of gutted to hear when it got shut down, but I have heard it's making a comeback now. So who knows? Who knows where it could end up now? But listen, that was jobs I used to do before. Obviously now, I love the company I'm with. I have a massive amount of time. Obviously, I can't say who I work for because that's not proper. But a lot of people already know. So obviously we are look at the kind of the stream and look at the content that we're producing now. Obviously, we're now on the 7th podcast now. Learning a lot of things that I kind of wasn't sure of. I maybe speculated before, but I'm learning a lot. See with every podcast episode, I'm learning a lot from each one. What works, what doesn't, what's the best way of doing things, and it's not bad. It's not bad, to be fair. Podcasts are quite they're almost easier to make than anything else that I've tried, and I enjoy making them probably almost a little bit more because it's like I can quite easily just click record, and I don't have to edit it massively. Because the idea of podcasts is they are a bit raw. Is that the fact that there are like little mess ups in it, because people love to hear you mess up for some reason. I don't know. Maybe they like to embarrass you. Who knows? I mean, my chat on Twitch all the time just makes fun of me all the time. So, it's the kind of things you get used to. You develop thick skin. The only downside is you have to listen to your voice all the time, which for me, I'm kind of like, I don't like the sound of my own voice, but some people seem to like my voice because the YouTube seems to be doing well. I mean, looking at the YouTube and kind of content creation side, I'll be honest with you, I don't really know where I see myself going on this one, because when the next FIFA comes out, I don't even know if I'm going to stream it, because it's like, FIFA in general has just been a bit of a meh game for the past few years. I mean, obviously there's looks like there's new football games coming out, which could be exciting, it could be interesting. But content generally has been a difficult one to kind of produce on FIFA, because a lot of it's already been done. There's very little kind of innovation that still could be done on FIFA. So it's a hard one to say, really. Obviously I'll be like streaming the likes of VFL and stuff like that if I was to be playing it in the future and whatnot. I mean, it really depends. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll take a big fancy to COD. Maybe I'll get really good at Halo or something like that, and I'll stream that regular. It's a hard one to say. I mean, I enjoy these kind of just chatting streams. I'm getting a lot better at chatting rubbish, and people are listening to my rubbish, so I'll take that all day long. I was kind of looking for just something that's maybe a bit more sustainable, in the content side, because FIFA is not sustainable. Like, it's just not. It's not a sustainable game at this rate, because it's like self-destructing. They don't produce enough content. The game releases update after update that slows the game down. Then people lose faith with this game. I don't know necessarily if streaming FIFA is a good move or not. So yeah, I'll go be looking at various different games that maybe I could stream. Could make content on. Obviously, there's that banging Harry Potter game that looks unreal that's coming out. I think it's later in the year. Late in the year. I mean, I meant to say, so probably November and December time. But it looks unreal. It looks sick. How streamable it is, I don't know. Like some games are just not streamable, or you need a certain personality to be able to stream them. RP would have been unreal, except it's so hard to find a good RP server, which is the problem. You find a good RP server and you can't get bloody well in, so that's the problem. um, but yeah, so like gaming wise, it's a hard one to say because I mean I don't know. Like guys, if you're on YouTube, what games are you playing? What games are you enjoying watching at the moment? In chat as well, if you're in chat, let me know what games do you enjoy watching on Twitch right now. Like if I was to click on my my Twitch right now, what games am I seeing? So I'm seeing GTA, obviously that's RP. I'm seeing RP. I'm seeing FIFA. I don't know how people are still playing FIFA at this stage. I'll be honest with you. Well, if it is, they're esports and stuff like that. F1. I mean, F1 is a good game, right? But I feel like I'm gonna need a wheel, and the wheel is expensive. A wheel is very expensive. Um, I'm seeing Valorant. Valorant, I'm just no. In fairness, though, Valorant's not particularly high up on my list here, but Valorant is a hard game. Like Valorant is a very hard game. Most definitely. Warzone. Really, I mean, in fairness, I heard that they've taken the building out of Fortnite. So listen, they take the building out of Fortnite. I might actually jump on it because listen, that game's not that bad without the building, to be honest. So we'll wait and see, shall we? But yeah, it's Minecraft. God no, I'm good, thanks. I couldn't stream Minecraft for days on end. I don't know how people actually manage it, but some people do. Like I was quite good at zombies, but people didn't typically like watching zombies, so I was like, oh, well, okay. But yeah, so yeah, obviously I'm not overly sure where the content kind of comes from going forward, but we'll have to wait and see. But I do enjoy doing the podcast, so we could be seeing a lot more of this, going forward. Which is obviously a good thing because I do enjoy making these. I'll try and invite more guests on because I think this is I think podcasts do better when I get guests on. So we'll see how the next one does with somebody else. So yeah, obviously I've kind of chatted about kind of gaming and stuff like that. There are some exciting events coming up as well, which I'm excited to kind of share with you all, particularly charity wise. So going into the next week or so, I'm going to be raising money for Dnipro. For those that don't know what Dnipro is a charity that was founded by Hib supporters that basically help orphaned Ukrainian children, and I've already managed to help a load get over the border into the UK, and I think they're now in Scotland. They've helped loads there, but they've been relying on donations to kind of survive, to be honest. So I'm going to be looking at raising some money for them over the next week or so. So there's going to be a few charity streams hopefully coming up. We'll have to wait and see how the schedule looks, and how feasible that is for us. Yeah, so we're going to be looking at doing that. We also are going to be in June. We have got a charity match organised. This is not mine, right? For clarity, this is not my charity match, but it is. I'm helping organise it. The charity match coming out. For that, I'm going to be doing various different things to kind of help raise money. For various different charities. We haven't quite decided on the charities yet, but this is something that we're going to be looking. So there's going to be events. But I'm not going to lie, one of the things is probably going to be me dyeing my hair, right? I'm not going to lie, it's probably going to be going pink. I have a feeling that that's just how it's going to happen. What happened with your charity match at the Spaghetti Had, Reese has asked. That is still the plan. The problem I've got right now is Livingston aren't taking bookings, so I can't book the pitch, and I need to wait and see closer to the time if they'll be taking bookings. So until I know that they're taking them, I can't book it. You may have to look at other options. I know for this charity match, it's going to be at Hamilton Accies, because Hamilton are taking bookings. So we're going to be looking at doing it there. Is it because no? It was going to be in July. Mine at the end of July. This one is going to be at the beginning of June. So there's going to be two different ones. I'm going to be getting myself in shape for it. That's the idea. So hopefully with some charity streams and stuff like that, you will help me get in shape for that. With plenty of press ups and whatnot. That'll be the general idea. But this is one of the things that is coming up, and one of the things that obviously I'm excited to kind of announce that events wise. So you will be able to take part. You will be able to help raise money for charities and whatnot, all good causes, and make me suffer at the same time, because you all seem to love me doing press ups on the bed for some reason. Don't mention the check. I mean, he wouldn't even get in the door because for Hamilton, they have security for this one. They're just providing security because it's Nike. For mine, I mean, he might even be playing if he can raise enough money. The idea is for mine, one of the conditions of playing in the game is gonna be on people raising money, because the idea is I need people that can raise the most amount. It's not about the best players; it's about who raises the most money for charity at the end of the day, and that's what we're going to be looking at doing. So I'm going to need kind of references. I need kind of ideas of roughly what people could think they could raise. When people say 1 million, I'm like, yeah, no. Realistic goals that you can set for yourself to raise. So that I can have a professional idea of roughly what would be raised on the day. Obviously, the last charity. So I played in a few of these matches before. I played right back a couple of times. The last charity match I played up front, I think on this one, in the one in June, I'm playing right wing. I think. Mainly because I'm fast as anything, but I've got no ball control. So, yeah, I literally just hit it down the ring, the wing, and just sprint. Right? I mean that's pretty much what I've got in the locker. But we'll be doing various different so I'll be playing sevens regular to try and get a practice and get my touch in order and whatnot. But that'll be the general idea of these things. We'll see how that goes. But yeah. So listen, guys, on that one, I'm actually gonna call the podcast there. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much those on Twitch also for watching and taking part as well. I definitely appreciate it. This is a lot shorter one because I'm like, I wanted to try a few short ones. I want to see the short ones and see how they do. And if they do well, then maybe I'll look at doing maybe do more podcasts, but maybe just make a load of short ones and see how these ones do. So we'll see how it goes. But listen, thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching. If you are on YouTube, please do consider subscribing and liking the video, because every like, every engagement helps. Even if you dislike the video, it helps the algorithm. So please do consider doing that. Yeah, team, adios. Look after yourselves and peace.